Most people who start voiceover businesses think they're entrepreneurs. They think because they have a good voice and can read copy, they can run a successful voiceover business. But here's the brutal truth. Most voice actors aren't entrepreneurs. They're technicians who happen to own a business. And that's why a lot of them fail. To run a successful business, you need 3 people in one. The technician, that's the person who does the actual voiceover work. Recording, editing, delivering the files, staying in touch with clients. The manager, that's the person who creates systems, manages workflows, handles the business operations. And the entrepreneur, that's the person who has the vision, finds new opportunities, and grows the business. Most voice actors are 90% technician, 10% manager, and 0% entrepreneur. Here's the mind bender that changed everything. The book says that think of your business as if you were going to franchise it to 5,000 other people. Obviously, you can't do that with voiceover, but just have that mentality, you know? What would that look like in voiceover? It means creating such clear systems and processes that someone else could follow your playbook and get similar results, whether that's a VA or if you're coaching people. This forced me to document everything. How I research and approach different types of auditions, my exact process for building client relationships, the scripts I use for follow-up emails, my pricing strategies and negotiation tactics. I got a few. When I started teaching other voice actors these systems in voiceover school, I realized I had accidentally created a franchise model. People were following my processes and getting big results. Paurush, throw some of the results up on the screen. Most voice actors spend 95% of their time working in their business and wonder why they're not growing. I now spend about 40% of my time working on my business. I got room to grow, building systems, creating content, developing relationships, analyzing data, and my income has grown exponentially because of it. And now I want to hire a VA and crank that up a notch. How do you apply this to your voiceover business? First, audit your time. Track what you're doing for a week. How much time are you spending as a technician versus the manager versus the entrepreneur? Second, systematize everything, creating templates, checklists, and processes for every recurring task. If you do it more than once, it needs a system. Third, think like a business owner, not a freelancer. Ask yourself, if I had to teach someone else to do this, what would the step-by-step process look like? Fourth, working on your business. Schedule specific time each week for business development, relationship building, and strategic planning. Fifth, measure everything. Track your audition to booking ratio, your client retention rate, your average project value. You can't improve what you don't measure. You need to know the stats. When I started implementing these E-Myth principles, everything changed. A lot of them I was already doing and I didn't even realize it. But when I really dug in and started doing this, my stress levels just dropped because I wasn't constantly firefighting, putting out fires all over the place. My income increased because I was focusing on high value activities. My client relationships improved because I had systems for staying in touch and I was actually staying in touch. You can keep doing voiceover the way most people do it, as a technician who happens to own a business. But if you want to build something that actually works, something that grows, something that gives you freedom instead of stress, you need to think like a business owner. And if you want help implementing these E-Myth principles in your voiceover business, if you want the exact systems and processes that have helped hundreds of voice actors build 6-figure businesses, check out Voiceover School. We don't just teach you how to read copy better. We teach you how to build a real business that works without you constantly managing every single little detail. The link's in the description. And drop a comment. What's the biggest business challenge you're facing in your voiceover career right now? I want to hear from you.